Good morning, Facebook family and friends and YouTube subscribers. Today is Monday. It is October 12th of the year 2015. So last week, Raven-Symoné made a comment on The View that pissed a lot of people off. They were discussing the ghetto names, as you saw in the video before this, ghetto names, and she made the comment that she would not hire someone who had a ghetto name, watermelon. She used the example of something with using the term watermelon, ladria, or something like that. And she said she would discriminate against this person and not hire. Now, you know it was a joke. She was just kidding. So, but people got very upset about this, very angry. Let me tell you all my views on these names. They're not ghetto names. They're not black names. They're just weird names. They don't represent black Americans. They don't represent the ghetto. They're just weird names given by parents who want their children to have names that are unique or different than everybody else's names. So we're probably about 2 or 3 or possibly 4 generations into these weird names. They don't represent Africa. They don't represent the African American community. They don't represent Black America. They don't represent the ghetto. They're just weird ass names with weird spellings that nobody can pronounce. I've seen these names. I look at these names, and people didn't like what Raven had to say. But here's the thing. Raven-Symoné is not the director of a human resource department at any corporation. She's not sitting there looking at resumes, job applications, trying to hire people. But I can imagine, but we already know there has been study after study after study after study that makes it clear certain names, when these people in human resources come across these names, they take these applications and resumes and they set them to the side, mainly because they can't pronounce them. So they don't want to call somebody up and say, we want to call you in for an interview, like Wanda Wisha Waka Waka, because they don't know how to pronounce that weird name with the strange spellings and all these different alphabets. And so they go to the applications that are the easiest ones to pronounce. Now, here's the thing. The Chinese come to America, Japanese come to America, all these foreigners come to America, mainly Chinese and Japanese and Asians. They change their names to fit more. They take their real name, they either turn it into an initial, or they take that name and they turn it into an American sounding name that's easy for people to pronunciate and to understand when they read it. Is there anything strange about that? No. This has been going on for years. Lots of foreigners come to this country with strange names, and then they change them because they know they're seeking employment, and they want people to look at their names and not judge them based upon a name that might be considered ethnic from another. So they hide where they're from by changing their ethnic sounding name. Now, but Black Americans have decided to do something different. We have decided that we're going to embrace these weird or different sounding names and hard to spell and different just strange, bizarre names. We're going to give these children these things. We're going to give our children these names and expect them to go out into the world and do great things. People are so quick to point to some people like Raven. Raven's an actress. Raven ain't filled out a job application or resume to get hired on The Cosby Show. She walked into a room as a little bitty child, and they looked at her and said, she'll be cute for this role, and she was given this job. That's why Raven is where she is right now. Raven ain't did shit but stand there and look cute and act. All these famous people, actresses, singers, dancers, those people had talents. So it didn't matter what their name was or isn't. They had talent that stood out. People point to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger was a bodybuilder, but one of the greatest physiques ever. He didn't need a name. He had a body. Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't fill out no job applications or resumes to get where he is today. So don't use that as an example, as a weird name that people have. His name, his body spoke for you visually saw him. He was on every magazine that you can imagine. So it didn't matter what his name was. He had a talent. But when you take a child, you put them into a school, they have these names that the teachers can't even pronounce, because I've dealt with this situation for years. I had a partner who worked in the public school system here in Atlanta. The names, they couldn't even pronounce these names. They had to learn how to pronounce these names. So when they're asking these kids to participate in class, they had to really ask. And here's the funny part. The kids didn't even know how to pronounce their names. And they didn't even know how to spell their names, which is understandable. I guess at some point I didn't know how to spell Walter either. But when you have a name that's so different, that's so harmful to your child. And see, this is where the problem comes in, what she was saying. I didn't have a problem with Raven-Symone saying, because I know she was just joking and playing. But I know plenty of people who work in human resources, big companies, who have told me and said, when they see these weird names that they can't pronounce, they just kind of set it aside. And these people may have great qualifications. But we've got to be smarter. If the Asians have sense enough to come over here, the Asians, the Japanese, the Chinese, Pakistanians, wherever they are, come here and change their names from the name they were given at birth because they realize they need a name that sounds more American to get hired, black folks need to start doing the same damn thing. If your mama gave you, your mom and daddy gave you some strange name, because it's not a black name or a ghetto name, it's just some strange spelling of a name, and you feel that that's kind of stopping you from moving forward, then change it. Do what everybody else is doing. Now, to your family and friends, you can keep that name. But when you fill out a job application or a resume, you need to have a different name so that you can get your foot through the front door. Because you're not singing and dancing on no stage or acting in some video that they can look at. So this person has great talents. You're just in a piece of paper, a resume. It may or may not have your photograph on it. Most resumes don't have photographs on them. Some people do, but most do not. Why would you let your name keep you from getting a job? A name that you didn't even, that means nothing. These weird names mean absolutely nothing. They don't stand for Africa. They don't stand for black folks. They don't stand for anything. They're just weird, strange names. So we have to understand that. And I'm not even going to call the names ignorant, because I don't want to say that, but these names harm people, particularly African American black children, because they're being denied opportunities and jobs based upon their names. Is this a good thing, bad thing? I can't say, but it is reality. And we can't be stupid and sit here and be all offended. I don't like the fact that Raven said she wouldn't hire nobody because it had a ghetto name. Well, Raven is just, she was joking. But there are a lot of people who are serious and they won't hire you because of these weird names. And you can't make them. See, this is the thing. That's why the Chinese, the Japanese, the Pakistan, those Asians that come here, they change their names, they realize they can't force these people to accept them because they have a name that's not quite American, and they realize that they're going to be denied opportunities based upon their names. They're smart enough to think bigger than that and say, change the name so that you fit in. People think that you're just another person who grew up in the United States of America, although you just got to America 5 days ago. But you got black children who've been here all their lives and being denied opportunities because of a name a parent gave them at birth. And like I said, we're about 3, 4, or 5 generations into these weird names. A lot of people accept these weird names as normal. I sit and watch the news report and I see these names come across the TV and I say, good Lord, how did they even know how to pronounce these names? And I know a lot of people are going to get pissed and angry because I am a coon, I'm an Uncle Tom. No, those names are weird and stupid. They make no sense and they're harming these children. If you have one of those names, then you can keep the name for family reunion. You know, you can keep that name, whatever it might be. But when you're trying to go into the business world, you might want to make a change. And then some people point to, well, Barack Obama. You know, Barack Obama is one of a very few people. Barack Obama was the first black president ever. He was unique to get where he was. He was also a senator. You can't base your life upon what other people have done when you're just a regular everyday Joe trying to survive. Walter is an everyday Joe who's trying to survive. So I got to fit in. That means that if I had to change my name to get me into a company or to get my resume looked at, I would do so in a heartbeat. Wouldn't think much about it. No, and nor would I give my children, which I don't have any, nor would I give my children some weird names. That'd be the point. There's study after study after study after study saying that these names harm people from moving forward in life. These people sit in human resources, mainly white folks, reading through these resumes, and when they see these weird names, or hard to pronounce names, or strange names with strange spellings, or whatever you want to call it, they take the application and they set it to the side, and they look for something that they can probably identify. Now, here's the sad part. A name. All this is over a name. People are pissed with Raven because what she said was the truth. And we don't want to accept that as the truth. I don't know why Black Americans have such a difficult time with the truth. You think you can give your children these weird names that no one can pronounce or spell, and everything's just going to be hunky-dory. You don't realize that you're setting your children back, that you're harming. These names mean nothing. They don't represent Africa. They don't represent Black Americans. They're not ghetto names. They're just weird, strange names that harm the people who have these names. Now, some people might be able to get past the issues with their names. They have great talents or they're extremely smart. But the vast majority of people who have these names, they're not going anywhere because they don't have those talents. Everybody ain't Michael Jordan. Everybody's not going to be an Arnold Schwarzenegger, and everybody's not going to be a Barack Obama. Some people are just going to be the trash man. Some people are just going to be a school teacher. Some people are just going to be the lowly fry guy at McDonald's. And that's okay. But your name shouldn't keep you from becoming the fry guy at McDonald's. Or keep you from being a school teacher. Or keep you from being a trash man. Those are just examples that I'm using. But these names have harmed too many Black children for years. These weird names given by these parents who have no clue they just think of something. These names are weird and strange and stupid, and we need to wake up and stop giving our children these crazy names. If you like my videos, please click like, share them with family members and friends. I would love to hear your comments. I know that some of you are going to be very angry and pissed because you might have one of these strange names. Change it. Don't get mad at me. This is the reality of the world we live in. I don't work in human resources. But I know for a fact that to people who do work in human resources, when they see these names come across their desk, a computer or a laptop or whatever they're reading, these resumes and applications, they tend to go after the names that they find and then some people say, well, some people do get through the door eventually. Yeah, over time, eventually you will get a position, but why would you want your career to be on hold or your life on hold because of your name that your parents gave you? That means nothing. There's no whole historical significance in any of these weird names. They're just a bunch of strange spellings of vowels and consonants, and they mean nothing. Change your name so you can get on with your life. Anyway, if you like my videos, please click like, share them with family members and friends. I look forward to hearing you all's comments. I know some of y'all are going to be pissed. I don't care. I'm not an Uncle Tom. I'm not a coon. I'm just telling you the fucking truth. Something that we just have a very difficult time with accepting as Black Americans. Anyway, I'm out. Enjoy your Monday.